Are you ready to create a life you crave? Let's spin that doom loop of negativity into an upward success cycle and start living lucky. Good morning. I'm Jana.
I'm Jason.
And we are living lucky, and you are too, because today is Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you, and back at you. Love. We're talking about love today.
Look what you've done to me.
Okay, he started out singing The Love Boat, and then it turned into a Kenny Rogers song. Love. It's the highest vibration. It's where we manifest with the greatest frequency. However, I feel like as we get through life, we start to harden our hearts.
Harden my heart.
Stop
I'm
with
gonna
the song.
sing
Jason
this morning.
is a jukebox this morning.
Yeah.
Should I put a quarter in you?
Don't do it. Yes, please.
When
Abundance.
we were at Life Surge, we listened to Willie Robertson from Duck Dynasty, and he said that when he was in 5th grade, he had a business of where he would charge people a nickel and then he would sing a song. So he would literally act like a jukebox.
That's funny. Song for a nickel.
So there's your new side business,
That is my
Jason.
side hustle right there.
Okay, back to hardened hearts, because I feel we all get them. We just don't realize it.
Yeah. I feel like I have this visual of like bad meat where it gets hard on one side and then like tender and
once you eat it,
sore on the other side.
Once you eat it, you say, "I'm not eating that meat again."
Oh, no way.
Once you have food poisoning, I'm staying away from that.
At least for a long time, I'm going to have all my defenses up. I'm going to look for the evidence that it's bad instead of the evidence that it's good.
And that's what happens in life. In our relationships, we get burned once or twice, and mind us that when we think we've been burned, it usually is a two-way street, and it's all about perception.
It is, and looking at it from our own perspective.
Yes. However, we start to build up these walls of protection. No. Not going there. I'm not going to let anyone in. It's easier to just keep people at a distance than to open our hearts and to truly love.
Yeah, we tell ourselves things like all women are confusing, all men are after one thing. I mean,
Wait, do you think women are confusing?
There are times, I think there are women and men that are confusing, but that's not a thought anymore. I just try to love completely. Like it's almost like love comes in through the top of me. Like if the way I feel it is almost like if the top of my head was unscrewed, love was pouring in, and then love just pours out through the center, almost Care Bear style.
Do you ever have it go the other way? Do you ever have it come up your feet and out your head?
No, it doesn't come up my feet, but it does. I do feel it circulates. Like I feel like I'm getting all this love back, which is kind of fun. I mean, it's kind of fun to be loved. I mean, it's a great vibration to be in. It's not only the highest resonant vibration and universal manifesting vibration, but it just feels great when you can rest in it.
So how can we make that our emotional home? Because I think most people feel love. Sometimes they have a hard time receiving. I know for me, on my birthday, Jason had a group of really high, powerful men saying happy birthday to me. I had a really hard time receiving that. And I've had a hard time receiving all of the texts and all of the... I mean, my phone still has 20 texts on it that I haven't returned because people were saying happy birthday to me and telling me how special that I am, and it made me feel skeptical.
You know what's interesting is I had a hard time even asking for. I didn't have a hard time asking for them to say happy birthday. But they offered to sing happy birthday. And I was like, oh, that's going to take longer. And I didn't want to put them out. So I almost had a hard time receiving that. And that got me a little misty eyed because I was like, they took extra time to sing it because I just asked them, hey, it's my wife's birthday today. Well, can we get everyone to just say happy birthday? And they said, we're going to sing it. Like, we're going to take the time and we're going to sing it because and they just poured out love.
So what? Okay, so that kind of takes us in a little bit of a different direction. Why do we have a hard time receiving love? I mean, I really feel that I can give love better than I can receive it. I mean, it goes back to gifts. I really hate getting gifts. And because it makes me feel like it's transactional.
I feel like also sometimes, and I feel like we all believe we're worthy of love, especially on the surface. I think if we get down deeper, some of us feel like we're not worthy of love, which is completely untrue.
No, I don't feel that way. That's what's different about me. Yeah. I feel I'm worthy of love. Maybe delusional love. I feel like I'm worthy of delusional love.
Go you. I love it. I think there's no such thing as delusional love. I think we all deserve what we might consider delusional love. And we should be giving that with everybody all the time. And I think part of it is when we see people not giving us grace or if we see people judging us, there's something in that, like when the judgment,
spit it out, Jason.
It's stuck somewhere, but it's kind of like the outside world feels like if I don't respond a certain way, I'm going to be judged. I'm going to be criticized. I'm going to be not doing enough in return. And if you're just loving fully, and people recognize I'm loving as much as I can right now from where I am, then I think love and grace go hand in hand.
Okay, so here's an example. So I wanted to watch a Disney. I've been studying script writing and I've been wanting to watch a couple Disney movies. So I asked my dad if I could use his Disney Plus password. Okay. And at first he was like, yeah, sure. You know, we don't use it. So here it is. And I know that with the subscription, you get 5 login devices. So I thought, you know what, that'll work because I have so many darn subscriptions. You and I do, right? And
I feel like I'm subscribed to death almost.
I know. And it starts adding up. So anyway. So he gives me his password and I tried logging in yesterday. And of course, I ran into some problems. And so then I texted him, and what seemed like an easy ask and a give out of love turned into I have totally burdened him. And I mean, he even sent me an email saying it's caused all problems on his end. And so now I feel I would have been better off just not even asking. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Are we still talking about love here, or have I brought something else into the mix?
No, I think that does kind of go into, because it's like it's the receiving and the giving. It all falls in.
First of all, I was very hesitant about asking, and then I thought, well, it's my dad. You know, it's my dad, and I know that they don't use it on 5 devices. They may have it on 1.
They don't use it but once a week, like 1 hour a week.
And that's only when Dancing with the Stars is on.
Is in season, yeah.
So then secondly, I thought, well, it's my dad. If I can't ask my dad, who can I ask, right? And then when I asked, it became, at first it was fine. You know, it was like, yeah, use it forever. It's yours. And then why don't I just get you the prescription, and then when Dancing with the Stars comes out, we'll watch it. It's subscription.
Subscription. Did I say prescription?
I do the same thing. I go to the doctor and I say, I need a subscription. And they're like, it's a prescription. Anyway.
Am I paying for it month after month?
So then
Maybe it is a subscription, Doc.
It kind of is. Oh my gosh. Okay, so where was I? But then when it started causing problems on his end, then I felt like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. I should have never asked. And now I probably will never ask him for anything ever again.
So can that be exactly almost correlated to love?
It is. That's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to use it
I
for.
think it can, because it's like, if I love someone, will I get hurt? Will things mess up? Will all like?
I mean, we
is there
talk
evidence
about
of all these
being
other things?
open to people we love, being open and letting them in. And I feel that being open is asking for things you need.
And that's where I think the grace and the letting go of the judgment comes in very heavily, because if it was a new day, a new slate, all is kind of, let's just call it forgiven or forgotten, then we would not be hesitant about asking again. We would not be hesitant about giving again and experiencing again.
But that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done.
And I guess the more grace we give, the more grace we get.
Yes, I believe so. And it's like you talk about a lot, that you get what you are. So if you're judging yourself for things going wrong because the subscription got messed up, whatever it is, it caused quote unquote trouble.
It did. It caused problems on his end. I'm like, oh great, now he's not able to get in on his subscription.
And we put more pressure on ourselves. Like,
yes.
I'm sure you probably blow it up to like being this really big thing because we don't want to put someone out at all.
No.
Like, we want this to be very easy and fluid and flowing. And if there's just one pebble in the stream, it might make a small bump in the water, but we turn it into this raging rapid in our head.
Yes.
And then we say, no more, not doing it. It's dangerous.
And so then we put a layer of protection around our heart. Our heart gets hardened.
Yeah. And
in our head, we think, well, that didn't work last time.
And then we start looking for proof where when I ask for something from someone else, did it cause them trouble? Did it cause them to be put out?
Yes.
And I'm not going to ask for it anymore. If I ask somebody for love, is it work for them to love me?
Yes.
And I don't want them to have to work to love me. I just want it to flow.
Someone told me one
easy.
time that it is really hard to love me.
Not for me.
And that has stuck, and I'm like, it is hard to love me. I understand this.
I don't think it is hard to love you.
No?
No. I think that you're unique. And
I'm very unique and different.
And
I don't fit in a box.
Extraordinary. And
I know. And so I expect extraordinary.
And I have to, I get to love you extraordinarily.
Oh, I love that reframe. Man, you're fun to love. I will say that.
Yay.
Yay. Okay, so I guess our biggest takeaway today is love is the highest vibration, and we get what we get what we give.
Yeah. So if you can love fully and without judgment, without keeping score,
I think that is really what it comes down to, is to not keep score.
And it's hard to not keep score.
Because otherwise it feels transactional.
One way to not
just
keep
like
score
my gifts
is to talk about things in the present. Like when it comes up, talk about it. Because if you're holding on to it, then you're mentally keeping score, right?
Yeah.
And then you're going to start kind of grabbing these other little evidence buckets and saying, oh, yep, there it is again. And then you just flood the person with all these things that make it hard, quote unquote, hard to love them.
I love it. I love it. Love, love, love.
Happy
I love
Valentine's
it.
Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Love yourself. Love yourself. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye. If the idea of living lucky appeals to you, visit us at startlivinglucky.com.